Astrology Corner, and this is your tarot reading for the new moon that's going to be happening in Aries. I do love tarot. I believe spirit speaks more through tarot. I believe there's a science to astrology that speaks, but I also believe that spirit really deeply speaks to me through tarot. And so I'm going to do a tarot reading for this new moon. I will go down each and every sign individually. At the very end of this video, I'll do a general reading of the general energies of what this new moon can mean. And then I will touch briefly on each and every sign, that the message that I get from the cards. I usually type these out on my Facebook page, but I resonate more with doing this, and I kind of been wanting to, so I'm going to give it a shot. So I usually, the way that I do tarot is I usually shuffle them, and then I really look for a card that speaks to me, that stands out, and this one really stood out to me as what's presently going on in the energy right now. So, get this all organized for you. I'm going to probably go ahead and clip some of this out just because you don't need to see all this stuff. It's just time consuming for me. Okay, the next thing that I do is I split it into threes. And I look at the deck that really speaks to me the most, like what talks. And she's talking to me today, so I'm going to do that. So, this card, ooh, nice, the Queen of Pentacles. Let me see if I can adjust this a little better for you so you can see it. I hope that helps. Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups, the way that I do that, these ones are blocked energies, and these ones are just my advice cards. Okay, so here is my spread for the new moon. Organize that just right. So, the new moon in Aries is obviously, I'm going to tie astrology into this because you can't be an astrologer and not tie astrology into a tarot reading. You know, I think many of us are getting down to the simple things in life. I think for many of us, what it's boiling down to is, what do we tangibly want? What do we tangibly need at this point at a very simplistic level? Now, does that mean that our needs and our wants are simple? No, they are not. This is that energy that's like the dreamy energy. It's like, you know, you're just growing up. It's like that you want to move out of the house and become something. So this energy has a grandiose feeling to it. But it really, honestly, what it boils down to is we got to get down to the basics. So I think this new moon in Aries is that new beginning. It's the start of the zodiac. To me, it's the beginning of the zodiac year. So this is the new thoughts for the new year. I believe that if I'm looking at this just as a whole, let me just take it in. I do have 3 cards that speak to me about tangible wants and needs, and both intangible. I believe what it is, and I really like, if this card points this way to me, and I'll show you this, if this card were to point this way to me, then it would mean that you're looking back. But this card, this blocked energy, is not looking back. I believe what it is that, to me, this is our future in this new moon. To me, what this represents is that, you know, you've worked so hard for something, And I deeply believe that starting over again, for many of you, this new beginning is starting over again. I believe it's just, he feels sad to me. He feels like, you know, it's a hopeful card to me, but there is a sense of sadness. There's just this, God, I gotta do this over again. I've got to pick up all the pieces. I've got to move on. I know I have this hope here. I know that I have something positive going on, but there's just still a sense of loss just because you had worked so hard in the past on something. So the other blocked energy that I think is just presently, I think when we're talking, and this is a beautiful card. I'm very, let's see if I can get it in here. I'm very, very happy with this card. It's blocking the present thoughts, but I believe that it's blocking them in a very progressive way. To me, this could not be more perfect for this energy. This is a new beginning. And for some of us, what I think it is because I know that we have a mutable T-square right now. And we have that all sitting in energy that's really asking us to define what we want. And I think our ego, we're trying to define what we want. But I think what's really confusing right now is, what is it that we truly deeply want? I believe what the question that really is apparent to me in this energy, in this reading, but has been throughout most of my readings, is what are we attaching some significant value? Where do we start? Where's that liftoff point where we are starting here? Now, for many of us, like I said, sorry, I don't have any fingernails right now. Hold on. There we go. For many of us, you know, it is that feeling of dreaming, of hoping, of taking a look at things. I think this is a very reflective card. I see her in the garden. You know, I drew her on my last reading, and she speaks to me because I think that many of us have a beautiful brand new beginning. And I really love this card. I really love it. And even though it's in the reverse position, strength, what we're trying to do right now is build strength. So it's in reverse because I think that many of us are trying to identify our strengths right now and our weaknesses. I think many of us are trying to move away from our weaknesses, but we're really trying to define the word strength. What do we feel really attached to, and then what is going to give us that result? So I believe that in the past we made a lot of emotional decisions initially, and I believe that when we made these emotional decisions, we made it with sort of an enthusiasm. So I don't think we're foolhardy like that anymore. I think that we make emotional-based decisions, but they're much more practical, much more earth-based. We're looking at longevity and stability. So this energy to me, and I love this card. This card's so gorgeous. We want passion back. We want to put the light back in our life. We want passion. But to me, and I don't know why, because it doesn't represent the card, but I still feel that we're confused right here. This foggy clarification. What are we super passionate about? What can we truly deeply invest in that's going to give us the results that we feel that we need to be super sustained and happy? So I have 3 advice cards over here. They speak to me. And the first one is the Hermit, which is in reverse. The Hermit in reverse, to me, I feel that some of you are not in peace when you reflect. So for some of you, taking a look at all of this challenge is very difficult for you to face. It is, to me, what I see when I read this is that some of you are just, when you get to the, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. I've been kind of fighting a cold. So for some of you, what I think it is that all these planets are going to start to drop into retrograde. There is a state of confusion right now, and I believe that when we reflect, I think it brings back a little bit of pain. So what we really want to do is go into some form of denial. That would be all this Neptune and the mutable square, all this Pisces energy. I believe that for some of it squaring off with Mars, I believe that many of us are just, if we attach hope to anything, I feel like we get let down. So I think there's a state of trying to find that hopeful thought that you can actually count on, stick to. Second advice card that I have is very, very lovely. I like it. It's in the upright position. And this card suggests abundance to me. I think once we go through this reflective period, then the next card that we come across, the next line of our thought process will be just abundance, what emotionally fulfills us, what makes us happy. To me, this card feels very at peace. So the way that I look at these three cards is I look at, in the past, we had burdens. They were very difficult. They were heavy burdens. It seemed like mentally we endured a lot. And I don't think many of us came out of that with too much clarity. I don't think it defined our passions. I think it was very difficult. As we move forward into this new moon in Aries, I believe that we get down to the nitty-gritty. I believe very much so that this is attaching to the basic, immediate needs of that Aries energy. I think as we move forward through this, now remember, new moon cycles are cycles that go to the next new moon. And so we go through many thoughts during that transitional time. As the phases of the moon bring us through many, as the moon brings us through many phases, it also brings our thoughts through many, many, many phases. So I believe as we move forward, because this would be present, I believe that some of us are done fighting. Some of us we're done dealing with consequence. Which we really just want is results. I mean, we just have that Aries energy feeling of like, freaking had it up to here. You're walking away. Many of you could walk away and start a new beginning in this energy very easily, because honestly, you're not willing to endure anymore. And you can lose everything and start over again. You're fine with that, because it's been so tedious for so long. And even though I think many of you worked very, very hard on something, I know that many of you understand that it's passionless at this point and that you deserve more passion. And I believe that many of you deep down, if you're very, very honest with your thoughts, know that. I believe that this third card then represents the point of decision. Now, here's what's confusing about this card. And I just believe, because April has the entire month of a mutable square. So, I mean, a T-square. So I do believe that there's a lot of confusion. This card is so significant to me because it represents the 3. And it's funny to me because the 3 energies are involved in the mutable T-square that we've got going on. So I don't think this is going to be a huge month of clarity. What I think it does is dial you back and make you think of, what do you basically want? What will make you strong? What will make you weak? What don't you want? What do you want? Tangibly, what are you attaching to at this point? Tangibly, what can you lose? You're simplifying things. You're done with drama and excessiveness and just this need to put out 20 fires at one time. That is what I deeply believe that this moon speaks to me. I'm going to run down really quick the energies for each sign, just a super quick one, see if any cards speak to me about each sign. New moon. This is the reading for Aries. So Aries, this is of course going on in the house that defines self. So many of you are getting back to the basics. You're redefining oneself. I think when I see this energy, I think you're just very simplistic about what you want. I believe that many of you are starting over. I believe that many of you are wanting the simple things. You're wanting tangible things. These are simple, simple thoughts. What do I need? What do I want? It's just very directional. You are not about festering anymore. You're not about fighting. You're not about the drama. What you are about is feeling really, really good. So I believe that many of you in this energy are going to really attach to the decadent side of energy, meaning, you know, Mars in Sagittarius at this point is conjunct with Saturn, which is then it's trining the new moon and trining Venus. So I believe that many of you, your thoughts are going to be very simple to the point, and that provides you with clarity. I don't think that you're going to suffer from the mass confusion that many other signs are during this new moon. What I do believe is that many of you are simply at this point still unwilling to see that maybe a routine, a ritual, maybe something that you've been fighting about for a while that you refuse to let go. I believe that it has a significant attachment. I believe that ego is going to be one of those things that is going to change over this new moon cycle and more over this year, because I believe what you're going to get down to is just those basic questions that help you define your ego. Hey dear Taurus, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. This is your new moon tarot reading. And for you, this new moon, your ruler is conjunct with Chiron and it's trining Mars. So to me, you're very, very reflective. I believe that there's a lot going on. Basic thoughts are going on, but you're contemplating them. I don't believe that this is the energy where you express yourself significantly. I believe that, when I'm looking at this, I believe that you're holding many new ideas, many new starts in your mind. I believe that you are starting. What's beautiful about this energy is there are so many new starts in here, which means that you've ended a karmic cycle and you're starting anew in this energy. I believe that you are going to be making some significant changes, but I believe that there is still some indecision, still some loss, still a pull to the past a little bit, I want to say. For some of you, there's a sense that you're really attached to loss, and this new beginning is here, and you've simplified it and you know what you want, but there's still an attachment to something. And I do believe that you'll work through it. Again, we're at that new beginning, the new zodiac year. So of course we just ended cycles. So of course we're going to be a bit reflective. Some of those memories, some of that reflection that we go through in the month of April is going to be a little bit painful because they're realizations. And so I believe that you may not like always reflecting, and some of you may resist it and kind of try to escape it a little bit and be a little bit indulgent because that would be Aries energy through and through. But I believe that for the most part, this is a very, very positive energy source for you. And the reason I say that is because of all of these beautiful new beginnings. Hi Gemini, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. This is your new moon tarot reading, and for you, your cards are not aspected. I mean, your planet's not aspected in this particular energy. So to me, this has a lot to do with reflection for you. So if I were to take a look at this and take a look at the fact that you're not aspected and you're in a state of reflection, I would say that some of the reflection that you're taking a look at probably doesn't feel all that great. I believe many of you are in you're starting out. There's a lot of new beginnings to me. You're attaching a lot of value to new beginnings. I sense you look back and you've worked really hard in the past whenever you started out new beginnings. So there's a sense of I feel like you're a little bit fearful in this energy of really investing wholeheartedly this much work in something again. But I believe that you have this really bright energy, and it's so, Geminis get so caught up in anything fun, anything new. So I believe that there's enough pull of all of this new beginning to really counterbalance this. So that's why I believe, and again, Mercury is going to be dropping into retrograde here. You're feeling that slowdown. You're feeling complacent in this energy. I definitely feel like it's good energy. I believe many of you are stop fighting, stop wondering. You've accepted loss. You've accepted that you have to walk away. But I believe that in this reflective point, there's going to be some realizations. They're not always going to feel significantly good, and they can be a bit confusing as to what to deeply attach to. But I definitely believe that wholeheartedly, with all this beautiful energy right in the middle, I believe that you are going to find passion, you are going to find monetary gain, and you are going to attach a great deal to a new beginning in this energy. Hi Cancers, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your new moon tarot reading. And for you, this new moon is conjunct with Uranus, trining Mars, trining Saturn, but squaring off with Pluto. So I believe that some of you are going to be really honestly simplifying what you tangibly need and want. I believe that you're not so invested in working harder, not smarter. You're definitely you're definitely invested in working smarter in this energy. I know that most Cancers can tend to work diligently, work hard so that they can receive the recognition that they want, the affirmation that helps them feel a little bit more secure in whatever shell they are. For this, this reading is going to have a lot to do with your life path destiny, career for you. I definitely believe that, many of you are tired. You've fought long battles, you've endured significant hard work, and it just doesn't have the longevity that's attached. So you're dialing things back, and you're taking a look at things simplistically, and you're kind of dissecting in this energy how you want to move forward. So what's difficult about this is many of you attach to relationships, and I believe that many of you, this is on all levels, but I believe that a lot of them have to do with work relationships. So if many of you don't have relationships in your life, you invest a significant emotional investment in affirmation from work. And I believe that creates a little bit of instability, it takes away your power. So I believe that many of you are going to learn in this energy that it is not about pleasing others. It's about meeting your basic needs. It's about getting down to the basics. What makes you feel good? I believe that what you really need to use is your health, your mental peace, that is your guidance system. Because to me, I think if you invest emotionally in anything, especially if you start to reflect on intuition, I believe it really starts to define all of this energy. There is confusion with this new beginning, because this new beginning, you have to make decisions. I don't believe that they're very easy for you. In fact, I believe some of these decisions, moving away from, dealing with, is going to be a little bit difficult. This is helping you, I think, define your ego, define what you want. But more importantly, I think what it's really going to do is move you away from the fact that there's a little bit, like, I want you to get this new beginning, but you have to let go of the fear of it not paying off in this energy. I think fear is a big thing that I see. This could also be in a relationship. Many of you are afraid to feel truly deeply good about it being bountiful, eventually. Because I believe that many of you Your routines, the rituals in your life have not supported that. So this card speaks to me a lot in energy during these readings, just because I believe this is a blocked energy up here for me, and this is blocking to me the future. And so to me, I deeply believe that you need to stop looking back on how hard you've worked in the past, and you need to simplify what you want, and then you need to go and get that. And you need to keep this energy very, very simple, to attach to a high vibration of Aries and Uranus energy that brings in sudden opportunities, awakenings, clarity of thought. What you definitely need to do is simplify. Stop complicating the situations more than they are. Hello, Leos. This is Annette with Annette Astrology Corner, and this is your new moon tarot reading. Now for you, this new moon, that's a lot of lovely energy. To me, what this feels like is you're expanding your potential. You're very, very focused on expanding your potential. Very simplistic energy. You attach easily to this Aries energy. For you, you're all about new beginnings, new starts, getting down to the basics. To me, this is getting down to the basics. What do I tangibly want? What do I tangibly need? What brings me peace of mind? What brings me happiness? What puts the passion back into my life? I only want what makes me passionate. But more importantly, what it is it's not being confused. I think what happened when we had last month, it was very confusing energy. This is clarifying all of this. Now, one of your cards that define you in this energy for me is this card, and it is in reverse. This suggests to me that some of you are at a state of transformation. You're really, really, really taking a look at what it takes to maintain mental peace, physical well-being. So I think for many of you, pushing really, really hard in this energy without taking care of your well-being is going to be very, very detrimental. Don't do that. I know all this Aries energy is very forward. It's very active. You know, you've got, this delicious thought right here. But there is some clarity. There is some beautiful energy that comes from being in a state of reflection, from knowing your limitations, from knowing what to invest in, what not to. Creating a new beginning means that you have respect for the past, not getting so headstrong, not just... In the past, you made a lot of these decisions, very, very emotional decisions, very, very forward energy all the time, and not really respecting, to me, fully the fact that a lot goes into making decisions. You need passion, you need stability, you need to meet your tangible needs and wants. I mean, this energy is very balanced. Plus, we're talking about, in the end, getting what you desire. And I believe for some of you, this is recognition. This is taking a risk. This is it's paying off. But think it through, slow down. The energy is going to start to slow down. All of our planets drop into retrograde. Be mindful of the energies you attach to, because those are the energies that will progress you. Hello, Virgos. This is your new moon tarot reading. And for you, your ruler is not aspected, and this energy, it is it's just sitting in energy that is thinking about what you tangibly want, what you tangibly need, and intangibly need. This is getting down to the basics. You are in a state of reflection. As Mercury is going to retrograde this month, where you're starting to feel that retrograde energy. You're starting to feel like, gosh, I don't have the energy I used to. My thoughts are slower. My drive is slower. I just need to hang back. I believe really attached to the intuition. Don't push forward. Be in the state of reflection. I believe that some of you really are focusing on what you want. I believe that you need to make some changes, but I just believe that many of the changes that you make right here, especially if they've ever been associated with the future, I believe you worked so diligently and then it produced very little very little reward. So I think we need a better idea. We need to think of it a new way. And I believe that this energy is all about thinking of it a new way. What I love about this line of cards, because to me this represents the present moving forward, this next 30-day cycle for me. What this means is that you go from, I've worked so hard, I've took on so many burdens, it's been difficult, but I'm done with that. And it's getting down to the basics. Then it's, I'm not really willing to do a lot of fighting or enduring or taking a lot of losses, not willing to do that anymore. But what I do want is this emotional fulfillment, recognition, satisfaction. Getting down to these basic needs and wants of a new moon in Aries is all about new beginnings. It's all what this energy is about. So for me, the advice that I would give you from these advice cards is to slow down, take your time. I know you want recognition. I know that you see something on the horizon. It's very clear to you. You're starting to identify with just the basics, but there is something you don't see. And so I would just be mindful of hanging back, hanging 10, chilling out, doing the whole Taurus thing, and just making sure that you haven't missed something, or that you thoroughly thought it through, or before you took action. Aries energy conjunct, when it's conjunct like this with Uranus, can make people very foolhardy. But I don't believe that you're going to be foolhardy at all. I believe you're going to hang back. This is very pleasant energy. I love it. It's not complicated. It's just energy that just allows you to just actually completely appreciate simplistically where you're at right now and the simplistic part of it. Hello Libra, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your new moon tarot reading, which is kind of new for me. So for you, your ruler is in Aries, and it is conjunct with Pisces. So we're at this beginning and end type of cycle. There's a lot of reflective energy in here, and I think what it's merging is the way that you used to view past relationships, unions, partnerships, companionships, whatever you want to call it. You're making some changes because what it's boiling down to for you is you're getting back to the basics. What makes me feel good? What makes me feel beautiful? What do I want from a relationship on its most basic, tangible level? Like affirmation, adoration. You deserve all of those things. And this is, there's some clarity. There's an aha moment. I think when you have this energy combined with Uranus, I just believe it's clear. I'm not willing to work so hard on the past to get very little recognition, very little result. I am only willing to invest in something that gives me passion, gives me some sort of satisfaction, some gain, some recognition, some hope, but that I feel deeply at peace with where it's at. Not willing to fight, not willing to endure, not willing to go through a lot of drama, not willing to take on a lot of unusual burdens for somebody else. What you really want is just peace, harmony, recognition, happiness. And so this energy to me speaks significantly about clarity. Now we are going to have a lot of the energy during this 30-day cycle of this new moon. We're going to have a lot of energy asking us very tough questions and clarifying decisions that we have to make that are somewhat confusing right now because of immutable T-square. But I do believe that through this, there's deeply some beauty that's attached to this energy. So I definitely love the fact that when you're reflecting, although it's not pleasant, because there's realizations when you reflect. There's accountability. There's acceptance of your part in this, acceptance of what you allowed in this, the acceptance that you didn't get your needs met. You're not willing to do that anymore. The new beginning for you is changes are going to happen for you. You want to reach your potential in all relationships, companionships, unions, significant partnerships, anything that has the ability to get you what you need. I'm going to be honest. This is just that. Do you adore me? Don't you? Do you love me? Don't you? Are we investing? Are we together or are we not? Like, it's cut and dry energy because your ruler is in Aries. It's cut and dry. So many of you are going to be very, very contemplative in this energy, and you're going to define what you want. Hello, Scorpios. This is your new moon tarot reading. Kind of new for me. See how it goes. Now, for you during this new moon, has some very, 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 very interesting energy. Now, for you, this is about setting up routines and rituals that I believe many of you are just going to start to really realize that you need to do. It was very difficult for every Scorpio I know, is the fact that you often get stuck in rituals, obsessive thoughts, habitual tendencies that bring you comfort. I think why you guys do that is because I think there's a basic need to get these needs met right here. Passion, security, a feeling of well-being, a feeling of progression that you're holding on, that the work that you're doing has the ability to pay off. Significantly more, what I believe is that it meets those intangible and tangible needs. But the fact is that everything that you do stems around this feeling of security. You guys need a lot of security. And so it can be very, very difficult, very, very difficult for you to admit your weaknesses. Very difficult. So for many of you, your ruler is going to be conjunct with Saturn, which is in retrograde, but it's going to be squaring off with Jupiter and squaring off with Neptune. So to me, this suggests, and Pluto right now is squaring off with the new moon, and it's squaring off with Uranus. So for some of you, I believe that you're going to be dialing things back a little bit. You got to get back to the basics. You've got to not keep adding to the problem. You got to start over. You've got to create a new thought process. This energy is going to humble you. When Aries energy is in a negative aspect, it's impatient, it's irritable, it's argumentative, it's judgmental, it's unruly. It's just an unruly energy. I'm not feeling this from the reading. So even though I see all these negative aspects in your reading, what I'm deeply feeling intuitively is that I think many of you are mentally burdened. You're done. I think many of you are sick and tired of working hard and not having things pay off, so you're simplifying what you want. I believe that many of you are defining things on a very, very simplistic level. Passion, what provides me passion, what makes me feel good. I believe this is back to the basics. What makes you happy on a very, very immediate level? What's hard about this energy for you, what you will fight, what you will resist, where the squares come in and impact you, is all the planets start to drop into retrograde. We're going to have Jupiter, Saturn, we're going to have Mercury, Pluto, Mars. So you're not a fan of slowing down. This energy is it's very determined, it's very headstrong. You are not the type of person to if you spend too much time in your head, you go to dark places. You go to places that make you pessimistic about the future because so much effort, so much work, so many burdens. So it's been so hard that I believe that some of you aren't willing to just get back to the basics. So for some of you that are resisting the new moon's energy, it's about the realizations. It's about something you need to see, that there's something that you will be revealed during this new moon, this 30-day cycle. I think it's very clear, though, that it is a clarification process. It's a simplification process. This is just that energy that makes you just honestly accept your weaknesses and your strengths and use them to your advantage and still maintain optimism and hope. Don't go into the dark side of Scorpio energy, which can be very, very bleak, very pessimistic. What you may do in that energy is it's not that you're going to, I think, externalize it as much as you're going to internally pull yourself into dark places. We can't do that. This is forward energy. It is looking out. So as sad as this card is in reverse, meaning that you are making decisions, the decisions are hard. It's a lot of confusion. This card represents to me the mutables T-square that's going on in the universe, because there are 3 energies that play in that, and they're very confusing. And so I think many of you are just looking out there, looking for some sort of clarification, some sign, something to get you back to this world. It's a beautiful new moon. We got to get back to the basics. We got to simplify energy so that we can pull ourselves out of this square that I see going on for you. Hi Sagittarius, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. This is your new moon tarot reading, and for you, your ruler is going to be trining Pluto in this energy. Boy, is this about the basics. Tangible needs and wants. This energy makes you want to start over. It makes you very action oriented. It makes you, you're resisting weakness. You're resisting doubt. You're resisting the temptation of sinking into old habits. I believe that for many of you, you're redefining ego at just this most beautiful level. To me, this energy just sings very, very clearly to me that you need to take very slow, calculated risks. Now, usually you're the type of energy, because you had Jupiter as your ruler, that you like to take risks all the time. They create massive opportunity and just that instantaneous gratification. But no, this energy is not about that. This energy, as all of our planets drop into retrograde, your ruler right now is in retrograde. What this boils down to is there's a state of reflection that I think you must respect. What can be very difficult in this energy is you're all ego, you're all balls in this energy. This energy for you gets you going. It makes you want to make some very foolhardy risks. I see that you've done this in the past. I believe that it's added burden to your life. You put a lot of work in, not a lot of gain for some of you. I believe that there's been disappointment. So I believe that what I would suggest that you do is slow the energy down a little bit, respect it, get down to the basics, end some of the cycles that you've been in, the overindulging, the amount of energy that you attach to ego's wants and desires, and let's dial it back and just really concentrate on this energy right here, which is the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. What it is let's define what we tangibly want, what we intangibly want, what brings us peace. For me, this is simplifying energy. This is getting back to the basics. This is allowing your mind to completely indulge in the fact that you need to balance between Pisces and Virgo energy. This energy for you is significant because what it means is that you must learn from the past and you must respect it and you must have enthusiasm for the future, but be very, very cautious in energy that's in retrograde, because you may then repeat a cycle or revisit or have to rethink something because you made decisions based on ego when energy was high for you that was foolhardy. So be very mindful that everybody has vulnerabilities. Everybody has something that they can face in this energy. When Aries energy is in a negative energy like this, and this has to do with your ego, this to me suggests that you will be extremely disappointed possibly if you let your ego make the decisions and not so much your intuition, your heart, what spirit is trying to say to you, which is dial it back, slow down, reflect, relax, and just enjoy the very, very simple blessings in your life. Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. So for you, I believe that many of you are starting over in an area that has to do, to me, with something that you've always wanted regarding your home and family. I believe this is getting back to the basics. This is beautifying maybe your home, remodeling your home, making it more authentic to how you identify home. Many of you, this can put you in a state of reflection, and you're going to remember what it's like, what it was like to grow up in a certain home, or there was a home that you deeply identified with when you were young. It really always made you feel secure, made you feel good, made you feel accepted. So for many of you, this is just that getting back to the basics. This is that energy that really merges a couple thought processes. What it really merges is the fact that in the past you worked diligently, you worked hard, and I believe that so many of you are still working hard. So I believe that you're missing this detail, something small. This energy, this card is significant to me. Out of all the cards on here, this blocked energy just screams at me. I always pick a card that really talks to me the most, and these two definitely do it for me. So I believe what's going on is we're building strength. And we're building strength on a very basic level. So we're going back to childhood building blocks here. What put passion in our life, what made us feel secure, happy, safe, warm, loved. And then what that hope that you attach to that dream. So with your ruler squaring off with with Jupiter, Neptune, and Chiron, what this suggests to me is I'm thinking you're merging the elevated mind with the lower mind. But what's important is the lower mind in this energy. That's Aries energy. So the lower mind is my environment. I need a place where that I can feel like if I've had a really hard day where it's been burdened and cumbersome, that I can go home and I just feel at peace. And I'm holding peace in my hand, the thought of peace. It's warm, it's secure. This speaks to you more so than anybody. When you talk about security, that's what you do. Now, you are all about recognition, fame, fortune, career success. But in order, I think, for you to get to here, this is, of course, the 30-day cycle of the new moon. For you to get to here, what I deeply believe is you have to get back to simplifying your energy, simplifying what you attach to mentally. We can get caught up in this energy, making decisions that are confusing, and we can get spun up, and then we start to cycle all this into anxiety and stress and confusion and resentment, and then it starts to get crazy. You start to lower Aries energy, then you start to get judgmental, hypercritical, anxiety starts to build. We don't want that, because that can easily happen in Aries energy. This is a new beginning. This is a new moon. I want you to attach to simplification of your thoughts. Now, it's very hard when you have energy stimulating negative energy, Jupiter expanding. I got to expand right now. I want this recognition. I want this. This desired result. I want to fight for what I want. But no. When all the planets start to drop into retrograde, we've got Mars is going to be in retrograde. Mercury is going to go into retrograde. We have Jupiter in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde. We've got Jupiter in retrograde. I believe that all of these things in retrograde is telling you to slow down. And when you slow down, you get in a state of reflection. That is when I think that we start to sit there and think, what do I want to work on? What do I want to invest in? And you're going to simplify your mind. Simplification is a beautiful energy to attach to, because what it just screams out is it gets us back to those immediate needs, wants, identifying what is not meeting those needs, and making decisions that we're kind of confused about right now. That the decision is behind us. It's not in front of us yet. So to me, because this is in the reverse, to me what this suggests is that There's a lot of confusion with making this decision, so you're just not making it at all. It's behind you. You don't want to deal with it. What you want to deal with is this decadent, feed me energy, very Aries energy. But what you really need to do for this cycle to complete itself, for you to end the karmic cycle of spinning your wheels and not getting your immediate needs met, or creating insecurity in your immediate environment, or something about your immediate environment creates fear, or you're not acknowledging something in your thoughts that's creating and generating fear. I believe that we have to simplify, and then we can really start to reconnect, redirect our thoughts, and go in the right direction. Hello, Aquarius. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your tarot reading for the new moon. Now for you, your ruler is going to be conjunct with the new moon, and both your rulers are going to be they're just having a very harmonious conversation with the new moon. Now, is there a lot going on in your life that is drastic? It's changing things. It's creating a little instability. Yes, you have a lot of instability in your life. And I believe that that's why we have this energy right here, showing us our weaknesses, showing us where we need to strengthen ourselves. So what we need to do is get back to this simple thought process. We need to get here starting on the new moon. And then we need to follow through with these three cards. And these three cards are the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. I hope you can see this. The reason I say that is because if we can break energy down to its most basic level, then that new beginning is clear. We have a mutable T-square. The mutable T-square is adding a lot of confusion. It's like you want to make decisions, but there's a sense of which decision to make, which way to go, which route to go. I'm confused. There's a lot going on. There's a lot overstimulating you in this energy, I believe. And then you have this card, and I believe that this card is good and bad. This card is a very decadent card. It shows, excuse me, it shows to me that you kind of want to be the ruler of your domain. You're really, really honing in on all this Aries energy. You feel like you're dominating the energy. Very, very, that can be good, because if you want to simplify things and get down to the basics, it can make you very forward thinking in those reasons. But it could also, one of the fears that I have is that it's going to drop you into some of the negative energy. And believe me, there is some brutal energy in here. Aries energy is like, sometimes it's like the kid that we have to discipline, we have to slap, we have to spank their little butts. We have to do something drastic to get their attention and tell them, no, that's not the way to go. This energy could feel very much like that. The new beginning for you could feel very much like a hand slapping for some of you caught in lower vibrations. And it can feel very humbling. It can take away your power, make you feel a little bit weak. A realization could definitely change things. Now, what I love about this energy is, as though I see all this negative energy, but what I love is your rulers are empowered by this new moon. So as foolhardy as some of that energy sounds, what I believe it is balancing your ego. Some of you are at an extreme imbalance in your ego, meaning you are too ego-oriented. You're going to feel a significant impact, that it's going to knock you back to the basics. Wow, that didn't feel good. And then you're going to go back to, right now, what in my immediate environment feels good, because I don't feel good externally. I need to attach to internal. This is where we create new beginnings, because this is where we simplify our minds. Sometimes we get so caught up in external affirmation, and we get so caught up in approval, and we're out there, we feel like we have something significant to get, and we're just forward, and we're desiring these big plans to follow through on, these goals we want to meet. and we want the world to get on board, but I believe sometimes we get too grandiose in our head, and then we go through a little hand slapping, and then we're like, whoa, basically this is all I need. And that is the beautiful energy of a new moon in Aries. It is basic. It simplifies things. Gets you reattached to the immediate environment, makes you very, very aware of your immediate environment, the people in your immediate environment, the conversations, the support that are just at its most immediate level. So you've got to really look at this new moon. If some of you are caught in negative vibrations, feel it's discouraging, feel that this doesn't feel like a new beginning to you, it's because it's redirecting you. We have all these planets. April is going to be the month, this 30-day cycle, this new moon's 30-day cycle, attaching you to this new beginning, simplifying things. What it's really going to do is redirect your thoughts on and just simplify things. When you get too grandiose, it's very hard for us to simplify energy, because I know that when I get in this creative mindset, because I have an Aquarius in my 10th house, I get so many ideas that sometimes I create, but all in 20 different directions, and there's no simplification to it. To me, this simplifies, okay, if we dial this back, if I were to sit down right now, what makes me feel good? Who makes me feel good? Why do they make me feel good? What do I attach value to? What do I need to end? I want energy to stay here, balanced, harmonious. I want passion. I want tangible needs met, but simplify it. You can get grandiose as we move through the zodiac. There are other moons to do that in. That's not this moon. This moon is to dial things back. And what this definitely means to me is stop fighting fights that are losing battles. Some of you may be still caught in fighting a fight that's a losing battle. It's something that you need to walk away from, but something that you refuse with this in the reverse. It's something that you don't want to let go to, but if you do, you get this emotional fulfillment, gratification, and peace. He's at peace when he's sitting here around all these cups that are full. Ego can really annihilate new beginnings because we can attach to the wrong energy. Be mindful of that. Hello Pisces, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your new moon tarot reading. And for you, I see this energy as very self. See a lot of single energy in here. So one of the energy that's been sticking out to me is that you are going through a major transformation of self, and what you're dialing it down to is on a basic level, what do I need to be happy? Who am I? What do I value about myself? What in my life adds value to my identity? Does it reflect who I am? So we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I think many of you in the past have worked really hard to get approval, and you just worked diligently, you worked hard, and I feel, because this is a blocked energy of the future, I really deeply feel that many of you were not strong enough. That's this card in reverse. We're not strong enough to just stop pleasing. Stop that need to be affirmed of who you are. So what I think this is you are defining what brings you strength, what brings you emotional fulfillment, how you feel secure about yourself. To me, this card means a lot, but to me, with you, when I see this card, this means emotional fulfillment. I'm happy with me. I made it. I have defined who I am. The new beginning for you is a beautiful new beginning. You're at the end of the zodiac. Aries energy is at the beginning of the zodiac. So what you're really doing is you're ending working so hard for approval, working so hard to be understood, working so hard to be appreciated. No. You're dialing it back. This is all about self right here. This is about what makes me feel passion, what makes me feel satisfied, happy, what gives me pleasure. But you're simplifying it, what makes me feel at peace. But more importantly, I think in this energy, is who do I want to be moving forward? The seed is in your hand. I feel for you. I'm redefining myself, but who am I? I don't know why this energy has been speaking so much to me about you. What I think it is when Saturn has been squaring off with all of this Pisces energy, Chiron, Neptune, all that stuff, what I think it's been doing is removing the delusion that you have created externally. So there's a revelation for many people in your life who you really are. Now, some of them don't want to see this. Some of them want to invest in the delusion, but some of them are truly and deeply, deeply seeing the real you for the first time. Are you maybe getting some opposition? Are you maybe getting some advice from people? Are they maybe judging you or critical of some of the ways that you're moving about this new path, redefining ego, finding self? Yeah, they are. Because they feel like you can't handle it. They feel like you need to be guided. They feel like they need to direct you. They need to make your choices because, no offense, they usually have. Usually you get directed very easily down roads other people want you to live. But you are not. This is the new beginning. You're with self. All the planets fall into retrograde. What this says to me, significantly says to me, is that you're staying firm, staying strong. This is a Taurus card, by the way, in my reading. So to me, this is stubborn in self. This is, I'm attaching me to self, very self-aware, what I want. And if everybody else doesn't get on board with it, if you don't approve of me, if you don't approve of the self that you see, then you walk away and I'll walk away and there'll be a sense of loss and there'll be some remorse, but I'm only interested in nourishing relationships that see me for me, that make me feel this way. That's what you're doing. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to the full moon tarot reading.